Hey music world, John here from What's Spinning. Hope everybody's doing well. Here today to chat about this latest record from Maria, BC. It's called Marathon. Now, if you don't know, she is a California-based singer-songwriter who over the last few years has been quietly becoming a mainstay in the underground folk movement, the darker side of folk, if you will. And I've been kind of looking at her stuff since the early days of her music, the Devil's Rain EP, which maybe didn't blow my mind, but it definitely put me on blast to her sound very quickly. This EP blended beauty and darkness in a way that felt both really tense but very intimate at the same time. I thought her follow-up, the Hyaline record, was pretty decent. This was her full-length debut. She definitely went further down the rabbit hole. This thing was darker in parts, more beautiful in others. And while it wasn't the most memorable record as far as content goes, I did appreciate that she was creating her own little world. But I did think her last record, Spikefield, was, really getting there. This thing, really dove into a much greater ambiance. The atmosphere was bigger, the production was cleaner, this thing was more textured too. I felt like she was on the rise very quickly and was about to drop something pretty big. Now, leading up to this record, I was very excited. I thought both singles she dropped were really interesting, and I'm not going to even sugarcoat this. This is far and away the most interesting album that Maria has put out so far. This album kicks off with Marathon, one of the lead singles from this record, and instantly you are drawn into the world of this album. This is on another level. This track is deliciously dark. I love the humming, droning synths in the background and the slight sliver of hope that comes through occasionally in the instrumentation. And Maria's vocals on a lot of these cuts sound angelic in the most haunted kind of way. And in a weird way, tracks like this, when we get like a piano arrangement, a very subtle backing beat, almost brings me back to like the early Silent Hill soundtracks. It's epic yet incredibly restrained and nearly a perfect opening. As the Earth Turns is even quieter but just as effective. The pacing here is incredible. This track sounds like a thick layer of fog slowly washing its way across a field. And Mary's very timid, very small vocal delivery on this track gives it a chilling atmosphere. And what I love on tracks like this is where even when all hope seems to be lost, Maria's vocals bring in just a little sliver of hope. It's like a small light flickering in like an overly dark room. Next up we have Safety, one of the most chilling tracks here. There's some very rustic old school folk going on underneath this very harrowed atmosphere, which I really love. And the harmonies here, they are ghastly. This whole track just sounds like you're watching a really intense scene in some A24 horror movie. One where everything is kind of beautiful but deeply unsettling as well. Not only that, but the songwriting across this whole record is far and away Maria's best. While I enjoyed her first few works, the material wasn't really sticking with me at the end of the day. Instantly, this album is a lot more memorable in the songwriting department. These tracks are really sticking with me. Then we get Rare, which is absolutely gorgeous, and one of the bigger risks here, this almost blends into like a psychedelic folk territory. It's warm, but it's very therapeutic and a pretty interesting new direction for Maria. And it's not nearly as overbearingly dark as other tracks here, but I will say it does seem very Twilight. Personally, I'd like to see her push these ideas even further in the future. Now, also, another great thing that Maria does here is really not waste any time with smaller interludes. A lot of them on here actually add quite a bit to the sound play of this record. I mean, we're living in a time where a lot of these 60-second interludes just really don't do much but break up the pace. Then I hear a track like Port Authority. I mean, it's a short experimental interlude, but none of these sound pointless. The sampling, the synth textures, the hushed urgency to it all. These are just feelings that we haven't had pop up in Maria's music before. Yeah, I think that it's very safe to say that this is by far Maria's most interesting album to date. Now, to be fair, there aren't all hits here. There are a couple of short misses, like Peacemaking, for example. The acoustic, strummed, hypnotic riff and the very stoic delivery that Maria gives off on this track, definitely compelling, but it's a very rigid track. I mean, Maria has been in command of all of the atmospheres across this record so far and has been shining brightly in them. She just seems lost on this record, on this track. Also, Miami, this album's finale, not really that interesting. I I was hoping for a big emotional finale, but this track just sounds confused on what it wants to be. I don't know, this one just seems very awkwardly placed in between just another folk track and a very wishy-washy atmosphere. She doesn't really commit to either. It's not the biggest sin on this record, but I just expected a little bit more. Let me tell you though, if Maria keeps pushing down this rabbit hole, I mean, sign me up for further releases, because this record is pretty great. The sound is one of the most experimental and far out tracks here. The rhythm just feels strange, and the very abstract atmosphere just continues to grow. But Maria's very whimsical vocal performance here just makes you want to dive deeper. It's a very strange track, but it's the sort of flavor of strange that just makes you want to dive deeper. Sabotage is one of the sunniest tracks on this record, and honestly, after hearing just how overtly dark some of the earlier cuts here, hearing a track with a sort of warm glow to it, it's nice. The guitars are gentle, the ambiance is absolutely delicious, and Maria's voice has a little bit more hope than usual. It's a beautiful moment of contrast. Really do love the interlude June as well. This one is really cool. It feels nostalgic and dreamlike, much like that last Midwife record from last year. And I really love Night and Day as well. This one dips its toes into some Gothic folk sound. Now this one almost sounds like a southern funeral Gothic dirge. The guitars are fantastic. The atmosphere is just so dreary. I almost hear a little Chelsea Wolfe in this track. Really love Channels as a late album interlude as well. Buzzing synths, layered textures. I mean, we're certainly getting some more experimental vibes as well. And May This Rain, deep in the album, really great deep cut, may be my favorite track here. The pacing, the building riff, the chanted backing vocals, all building around Maria's very chilling performance. It is a hell of a deep cut. I mean, did she rewrite any rules on this album? No, as a matter of fact, she's just kind of getting darker and more tormented with every release, but between that and some growing songwriting that is so much more memorable this time around, this is a great record. If you're into artists like Marissa Nadler or Midwife or Chelsea Wolfe, you're gonna want to hear this record. It's short, but the atmosphere really sticks with you long after it's done. These tracks are personal, revealing, and it sounds like she's not done yet with all the experiments that she has been putting out on this record. I'm really impressed. I'm feeling a strong 8 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you're feeling froggy, turn those notifications on, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.